Hello everyone, and thank you so much for coming. I want to start with a disclaimer, as we say. Let's try to make this a very interaction session. Please feel free to stop me anytime you have any question, if you want to ask, if you want more details, and try to answer my question. Yeah, I barely heard you saying, "How are you doing today?" What else? We have a hard stop, so we have to finish at before 1 o'clock. So let's try to make as much as we can during the upcoming few minutes. So this is our agenda today. I will start with an introduction of myself, PepsiCo, and then we will go through the finance control, the organization structure, finance controlling and planning, financial planning and analysis, and then the planning cycle, and hopefully we will have some time for Q&As. This is me. Today I am the Associate Director of Supply Chain Finance. I will tell you more about the FMCG structure, what does finance do within FMCG, and how interesting it is. These are my experience. I have a bachelor degree and executive master from King Abdulaziz University. I started my career in 2011 as an AP accountant, then credit controller, assistant credit manager, financial analyst, financial planning manager, finance business partner in Unilever. You can see most of the names are FMCG. My whole experience is in FMCG companies. I started in Shai Rabi', if you're familiar with Shai Rabi', and then moving to Savala, edible oil, and Unilever. And finally, I've been working for PepsiCo in the past 5 years with 5 different roles within commercial, supply chain finance, and pure FP&A. This is the global footprint for PepsiCo. You can see all the orange is the food and beverage operation within the globe, and you can see we're almost everywhere. Very limited areas where we have specific snacks only and beverage only. Who can tell me what are the products within PepsiCo? What are the famous products? Pepsi. And so within the globe, we are split to 7 business units. Okay. We have the North America beverage and Frito-Lay North America and Quaker Food North America. These 3 business units within the what we call is the corporate, and they operate in the US. And then the international business, we have AMESA, APAC, Europe, and Latin America. I work for Middle East, and we report to AMESA, which is Africa, Middle East, and South Asia. And Middle East report to AMESA, and AMESA report to the globe. This is the structure within the globe. Where do we stand here in Saudi Arabia versus the PepsiCo globe? And these are our most famous products: Lay's, Cheetos, Pepsi, the Starbucks, whatever you see in the supermarket is a PepsiCo product. Lipton iced tea is a PepsiCo product. What do we have as well? Aquafina, and most of the snacks. And Shani, my favorite, it's not here. Any of these products are new to you? Have you ever, or this is the first time you know these are PepsiCo products? Okay, let's try to have an icebreaker. Since we're talking today about the finance within the FMCG sector, I have 4 slides talking about, let's call it a game, 2 truths and 1 lie. I will show you 3 sentences. You tell me which one is the lie. PepsiCo's Doritos chips were named after the Spanish word for golden. Colgate was the first toothpaste brand in the world. Or Coca-Cola was originally marketed as a medicine. Which one is the lie? Anyone? Sorry? Doritos, it's true, not lie. Who else? Colgate, correct. So Colgate is the lie. Now, for the second one. Nestle is the largest food and beverage company in the world. P&G first product was toothpaste. Or Unilever logo represent 25 different aspects of its business. Which one do you think is the lie? Sorry? The first one, no, Nestle is the largest food and beverage company. No, Unilever also, their logo, the U, is actually different shapes of its own product. So, Procter & Gamble first product was a soap, sabun, mo toothpaste. Kit Kat was originally created by Nestle. Lipton tea was created by Thomas Lipton, who Tide was one of the first synthetic detergents launched by Procter & Gamble. Which one do you think is the lie? No, Tide is one of the most and one of the first detergents within P&G. It's actually Kit Kat. Kit Kat was not invented by Nestle. Nestle acquired Kit Kat later. And the last one, FMCG companies make up over 20% of global plastic production. Unilever's Lifebuoy soap was created during World War I to combat poor hygiene. Or FMCG is the only sector where cash flow management is not critical. What do you think? You guys are business people. What do you think? Do you think cash management is important in FMCG or no? So what do you think? It's not important? Why do we have a business if cash is not important? It's not a charity. So yes, definitely cash flow management is very, very critical. Can anyone tell me why it is very critical in FMCG? So anyone knows exactly why is the FMCG finance very important? Do you know anything about the FMCG sector besides who are the big players? What I've mentioned now, Nestle, P&G, PepsiCo, Cola. Anyone? Okay, good. We're having the session, so hopefully you will learn something new today. Let me start with the organization structure. So before I start with the organization structure, let me give you some hints or some information about the FMCG sector. In FMCG, we sell a lot of volume. So all of our operation is based on how much are we selling and how fast. And since we're selling very fast, then we need the cash because our cash conversion cycle has to be very fast. We need to generate cash so we can produce, so we can get the material and start the production and to complete the complete cycle. So this is why finance play a very huge role within the FMCG sector. And within PepsiCo specifically, we have the global finance, which is based in the US, split it to different functions. We have the control department. Control department is what you used to be called as accountant. So basically, they work on all the actualization processes, SOAs, and we have the financial planning analysis. Financial planning is mainly what is going to happen. What is our 5-year strategy? Where do you want to reach? Where are we today? What is the final goal? How are we performing? How can we expand the business? Where is the growth coming from? How can we improve our performance and increase our revenue? The Global Business Services is something unique within PepsiCo. So we have people around the world. We call them the Global Business Support, supporting all the BUs. So within the Middle East BU, we have a team located in India. We have a team located in Egypt. We have others located in Europe supporting us. They're working with us on a daily basis to support us doing our daily operation. PepsiCo Financial Planning, which is the HFM, which is its ERP. It's the Hyperion Financial Model. And this is where we keep all of our numbers, financials, P&L, balance sheet, statement, and everything related to the, I would say it's like our Bible. Merger and acquisitions, M&A. A complete department working only for M&A, any new project, any ROI calculation, return on investment. Is this the right acquisition we want to do? Why we want to do this acquisition? And we have the corporate audit, internal audit also. We have the tax management. Around the globe, we have different tax policies. It differs from market to market, from country to country. It changes depending on the law. And then we have the treasury, which is the cash management team. And the second slide, I will take you through the Middle East finance structure. Within the Middle East finance structure, we have our CFO, who's reporting to the sector CFO. Sector CFO is reporting to the global CFO. And the team reporting to the CFO, you can see here, we have the controller team. The control, all the work stream related to the daily activity, collection, partnering with the sales team, invoices, managing the cash, the customer balances and account receivable, payment to suppliers, relationship with the suppliers as well. All this is through the control team. And then we have the planning team. And you can see the planning team is split to function because planning supports the business, taking the decision. We share the information, help them to take the decision. Translating the financials, what are the numbers now, and how we want to, the business driver outside, how can we translate the business drivers, like for example, COVID, the impact of COVID. How can we translate this to number, and how can we translate the number impact of what's happening outside? So we are split to commercial finance, or commercial planning. We have commercial planning for the food and commercial planning for the beverage. Beverage business is slightly different than the food because food is complete operation. We have 2 plants in Saudi and we're functioning so from the raw potato up to the finished good and the complete operation to deliver the finished good to the stores or to the consumers as well. The beverage is more of a franchise model. So we only partner with the franchisee. And then we have the supply chain. Supply chain is partnering with the supply chain team and logistic, anything related to the plant, what's happening in the plant, production, efficiency, certain KPIs, utilization, new investment, expanding the plant, new equipment, having a new line or a new product. And then we have the FP&A. FP&A is basically they will consolidate all the information from commercial. Commercial will partner with the sales team, with the marketing team. If they have any innovation, if they have any new business case, and they will consolidate. So I hope you guys are familiar with the P&L. So when you look at the P&L, The top line, which is the volume up to the revenue, this is the commercial team work stream. The COGS part, anything related to the product. How did they do the product? What did they need? What is the cost of this product? This is all supply chain related. Okay, now I will take you through the difference between when we say control and when we say planning. And I know some are, especially students, I was there one day and I know it's very confusing, but the good thing is, and the important thing, it is very important to know what is the difference and which area suits you better. What is the role of the finance? So within finance, in FMCG specifically, we are the value creation for shareholder. When I say shareholder, it has to be only the stock or people outside the organization. My marketing team is our shareholder or stakeholder. My sales team, they are also stakeholders. So what we do is we need to maximize the wealth through strategic investment decisions. The role of the finance is to provide the data required for the management to take the decisions, optimize the financial performance to enhance company valuation and investor returns. Part of our KPIs is the productivity. On a yearly basis, annually basis, we have certain productivity target. How can we enhance our business? How can we optimize our expenses so we can have more benefit and more return? We provide support to all the, as I mentioned, all the stakeholder. Supply chain, we need to tell them exactly what is the impact of a certain disturbance in the plant, conversion, issues of wrong ordering of potato, for example, or an artwork in the packaging. They need to know exactly what is the cost of this. So we're providing them with all the information they need to perform better. Similarly, for the commercial marketing team, they have a certain campaign. What is the return from this campaign? How can we translate the campaign to whatever is the revenue it's generated? We have the revenue management team supporting the sales when it comes to the prices versus the competitor. Where are we now? Where do we want to reach? And accurate and up-to-date financial record keeping. We are, as I mentioned, we are the point of contact. So finance are the point of contact with the sector and with the globe. And also we are the right hand of the CEO, for example. CEO cannot take a decision without the advice of the CFO. CFO has to give them the advice. What will be the impact of taking a certain decision, stopping a certain line, delisting a certain product, or launching a new product as well. We have 4 kinds of financial statements. Can anyone tell me what are the financial statements? Sorry? I cannot hear you, but income statement, which is the P&L in other terminology. Anyone else? Cash flow. What else? We have 4 financial statements. Balance sheet. Income statement already mentioned, and we have the equity. So in one of my interviews, it actually was Unilever interview, and the interviewer asked me if you had to choose only one statement to evaluate a certain organization, what would you choose? Which one? No. Balance sheet, definitely. I hope you guys learned it because this is a very often question in interviews. So, profit and loss statement or income statement. Why it is not the ideal option to evaluate an organization because it will show you only a certain period. So it will not show you where does the organization stand today, like the balance sheet. Balance sheet will show you where are you today, how much profit did you generate, and how many assets do you have? Do you have any liability? Sometimes the P&L will show you this organization is growing, this organization has a very good return or a very good profit. However, if you looked at the balance sheet, you will see that the liability is very high, the cash is very low, they cannot pay their own debt. So this is the reason we always count on the balance sheet. And then we have the cash flow statement. Both are interlinked, the balance sheet and the cash flow. You cannot have the cash flow without the balance sheet. And if you have the balance sheet, you can generate the cash flow. And then we have the equity statement. It will show you exactly how many or how much did you generate and how much did you distribute to the stakeholder and the investors. Okay? How can you describe the controlling and planning relationship? So I know when we say planning is different than control, planners they will look at the future, what will happen, and the control, they will look at the present and the past mainly. However, there is a relationship, and we have to admit, without a plan, there cannot be any control. So as a one cycle, we start with the plan. These are the days where we put our own budget. Where are we and where do we want to go in next year? And there is a specific budget for certain lines. For example, G&A, it has a certain budget. Who will put the budget? The planner will put the budget, but who will control and make sure we don't overspend or underspend or do any surprises in this budget are the control team. So the control team, if there is no plan, they cannot control anything. If I didn't give them, for example, this is my next year budget, they cannot control anything. They can spend as much as they want. They can do write-off. They can do a provision. They can do whatever they want. So it will not be a control anymore. On the other hand, if there is no control, the plan cannot be successful. So if I don't have control managing this plan and this budget, I will not have a successful plan. So when we say facts for planning and control, establishment of the standard. What do we mean by establishing the standard? So the control, as I mentioned before, the control need to have a clear plan what to do. What exactly they have to do next year. We have to give them the advice. Where do we want to head so they can act upon it. And they need also, so the control usually are the one who will put the process and make sure that we apply and we don't violate the process or the policy. Okay? Then we cannot do the planning without the control because it will be meaningless. Third, controlling improves future planning. As I mentioned, if I put the plan, they have to control it. They make sure my plan is on the right track. If there are any surprises, we need to know ahead so we can act and take decision or corrective decisions so we can go back to the track. And as I mentioned, they both look backward and also the forward looking. So the planning is mainly more of forward looking. However, they cannot do their work without the past. Usually even when we start a plan, there are different kind of budget or plan. We have the zero-based budget, but we also have the historical trend, which is the more often and more used. We look at the history, what happened in the history, and based on that, what are the future trend. And this is also how does the AI work. And we have the financial planning and analysis. This is the planning department. As I told you, we are structured in 3 different pillars. We have the commercial. Within commercial, what are the activity or what are the daily responsibility and the interaction they're doing? So they manage the country, brand, channel, and price point. When I say price point, it means we have different type of bags. We have 1 riyal, we have 4 riyal, 5 riyal, 6 riyals. These are different sizes. These are what we call as a price point. So the 1 riyal is a price point. The 4 riyal is another price point. They manage these kind of price point with the grammages. So the 1 riyal contain, let's say, for example, 20 gram. The 4 riyal is 50 or 100 gram. And the channel. What are the channels? So in the market, when you go to the market, you have different kind of channel. You have the meat in the gas station. This is a different channel. We have the OT or the organized trade, which is Benda, Uthaim, Danube. Those are the organized trade. We treat each customer differently. We have the self-service. Self-service it's not an organized trade, but it is more well established than the DTS, which is the normal supermarket or the bigala, I would say. We have the wholesaler. Wholesaler are different kind of customers, different need. Wholesaler usually they don't sell directly to consumer. There is also they can sell to retailer, and then retailer will sell to the consumers. So they have different ways of promotion or the way we're looking at this kind of channel. And then we have, as I mentioned now, the pack price architecture. They also partner with the sales and marketing. When I say sales, all the daily operation when it comes to the target, the commission for the salesman, the routes, for example, how many salesmen do we have? Do we need all these salesmen? How can we cover more areas than we have now with less cost? Innovation, all the new projects, new flavor, new brand, new product, new chips, new anything, popcorn, any kind of product is an innovation. And then we have the revenue management, which is the prices for all the products. And we have also the commercial reviews, which is we have to prepare the brand performance. For example, Lay's is performing this way, and Cheetos is performing like this, and Doritos is performing in this way, and so on. We have the DNA. DNA is the discount and allowances we provide to the customers. So for sure, for example, the flyer. Do you know the flyers? Anyone knows the flyers? Anyone knows the flyers? Okay. The flyers is basically the weekly offers provided, for example, by Banda. This is the flyer. If you saw a product or a promotion there, this promotion is actually funded by the organization. So if there is a promotion on Lay's, we are paying for it, not Banda. This is what we say a discount and allowance. Marketing and advertising. This is the budget for the marketing, all the ads, whatever you see in the market, the billboards, all of this is reported as advertising and marketing budget. The sales and distribution is everything to deliver the product to the customer. From our plants or warehouses to the customer, this is the cost of the sales and distribution. And then we have the supply chain. Supply chain are partnering with the supply chain team, which is mainly engineers in the plant. Their work is basically they will work on the cost of goods sold or the bill of material for all the products, category, sub-brand, flavor, agro, which is the potato. And then we have the global procurement. as well. Productivity, as I mentioned, how can we minimize the cost in an efficient way? So we will not lose our product, our name in a very efficient way. And then we have the commodities. S&OP, sales and operation, the complete cycle of sales and operation, what does it need? And we have the cost of goods sold, period cost. So the period cost is all the write-off happened. For example, I have expiry product. So all of this has to be captured by the supply chain team. Manufacturing overhead, people cost, and cash flow balance sheet. And finally, you have the FP&A. FP&A is the department which will manage the communication with the sector, the globe, the management team. They do the governance for all the processes within the planning department. Commercial and supply chain team, both, they provide the support or the data to the FP&A. FP&A will mainly consolidate and share. They have the holistic view, I would say, on all the P&L lines. They look at brand level P&L, country P&Ls. They manage all the submission to the sector or the globe, and they work on other income expenses as well. And then, what is financial planning? So financial planning is a set of planning, forecasting, budgeting. It is everything I just mentioned now is basically more of a planning processes. We use whatever happened in the past and forecast what will happen in the future. Is it important? Do you think planning is important? Anyone? So yes, definitely, it is important because we provide fast and accurate data to take a decision. If there is a risk, for example, of a loss or something will happen, we are the gatekeeper, so we will communicate this to the management and make sure we take the corrective action, address it early. And we also collaborate with all the department. So within PepsiCo today, for example, we have a weekly meeting for all the management led by the CEO. It has all the heads from each function. What we call is the leadership team. So we have the head of marketing, head of supply chain, head of HR, head of sales, and so on. The only department or the only function where we have 4 people is the finance. So finance is a key when it comes to decision making, when it comes to sharing the information, providing data. And then what are the things we do on a monthly basis? We consolidate the financial planning, as I mentioned, the P&L and the cause of change. What is the cause of change? The cause of change is actually the change from last year. So for example, I closed last year with a profit of 1 million, and I'm closing this year with a profit of 1.5, let's say. The cause of change is a matrix to let us know what exactly the change happened to reach to this 500. Did we sell more volume? Did we have more productivity and more cost saving? Have we sold, for example, sell volume at a higher price? Is it a better mix? Did we sell to the right customer with the better prices? This is what we call as a cause of change. Then we have as I mentioned, we are the face of the BU within the sector. So if there is anything when it comes to financial, the first department they will ask about is the finance. Where are they? Are they aware? Did they capture this as a risk? Did they capture this even as an opportunity or no? Then we do the consolidation for all the business deliverables and the presentation to sector. So on a monthly basis, we have a business review with all the stakeholders, showing them exactly where are we, what are the changes versus the plan, whether we perform better or worse, or is it just a timing difference, things will improve in the upcoming month, what are the risks we are foreseeing until end of the year, what are the opportunities also. And then we have as I mentioned, the brand P&L, the country P&L. We have the complete cycle when it comes to closing the month, and then the performance, sharing the information with the function, just to let them know exactly where is or how is our financial position today. We also let the Nobit flash to sector, and we are the owner of the G&A line and the royalty taxes and so on. The planning cycle. It's very easy. I know sometimes finance look boring to you guys, but it's not. It's actually, I know sometimes it can be consistent. So we have the same cycle every month, every year, repetitive. But in FMCG sector, there will always be surprises. Any impact within the world. I will give you an example. In June this year, the weather was very hot to the extent that the local potato got corrupted. So we might end up without any potato. We have to think fast. This is the first time this happened. We have to import from outside. The Saudi potato is one of the best potato in the world. Very good quality comparing to other countries. So if I'm going to import, it will be more expensive. It will be also not the same quality we're used to. So these are the kind of analysis and surprises will come. This is an annual cycle. So we do a monthly forecast, and we call, so for example, in January, we call it February forecast or P2 forecast. In March, it is P3 forecast, and so on. And then we have also 3 different planning cycle. It starts usually in July, the second half of the year. The first plan, how are we forecasting the next year will happen. And then in November and December. And then the final one is in January. So these are our financial cycle. And then we have around 12 forecasts during the month. This is the AUP and the quarterly forecast. So this is the cycle of the AUP, for example. We start by initiating the calendar for all the submissions. So, for example, AUP submission is due on a certain day within the month. So what do we need to do to deliver this on time? And then we will receive the volume input from the sales team. It depends on the market growth, economic situation. Is there an expansion? Is there a new country coming? For example, Benda is expanding. They have more branches. More branches mean they will buy from me more lays. Then we have the supply chain consolidation, because supply chain will need to know exactly how much they are required to produce. Do we have the capacity? Or we need to start investing, expanding our plant, having new lines, so we can accommodate for additional volume and so on. We have the net revenue. Net revenue, they will look at the competitor, the prices, where are we today versus the competitor. Are we at the right price point or no? Then we have the global procurement. We will share with them exactly the volume required. They will give us, for example, how much the potato will cost us next year. How much is the flavor will cost us. How much is the carton, the box for the chips will cost us. Then we have the material model finalization, OPEX input. So each stakeholder from the function, marketing will share their own budget, HR will share their budget, what exactly the amount they need to perform for next year operation. And then we have the cause of change, as I mentioned, the final P&L and the general manager review or the CEO. Then we have the submissions to the sector. This is in a in an AUP cycle. When it comes to the forecast, we have less deliverables, because usually when we do the forecast, our end goal is to stick to our original plan, unless there is a huge change. Like, for example, COVID. When COVID came, it came at beginning of 2020, around between February and March, and we just submitted our AUP. But with the lockdown and everything happened, the complete plan has changed. So we had to do a very detailed forecast in line with the plan because all the direction has changed. And now we got to the fun part. Any questions? When they told me to come and do this lecture, what I heard and the feedback was, be careful. These guys, the Gen Z, will ask a lot of questions. They might corner you. You have to be very smart. And I'm just waiting for this moment, guys. Any questions? So I think I have more 5 minutes. So can I ask you guys, what do you think of the FMCG now? You tell me. Did any one of you considered moving or working for FMCG or wanted to explore this opportunity? Has anyone? Because I know most of you are thinking either PIF or for finance, they will look at the bank. I want to work with the stocks. I want to have a CFA. I want to have... So anyone can tell me, did anyone consider FMCG? Do you consider FMCG now after this? Thank you so much. This is our QR. We have an internship for the finance department. I know you guys are senior enough to do your co-op soon. So please feel free to capture the QR if you're interested. And I hope I gave justice to the finance department within FMCG. Thank you so much.